So you want to grow your sphere. My name is Tony Angelos. I'm a broker here in Chicago, and I help realtors build and grow their businesses. And today we're going to talk about growing your sphere, one of the first things every single new agent should do. So what is a sphere? At a high level, your sphere of influence is anybody that you know. And the idea is that if you know them, you are going to have some type of influence over them. Whether that's true or not is entirely up to you. And the reality is that a lot of new agents have some very real mindset obstacles that they have to get over to feel comfortable enough to reach out to your sphere, which is a shame because approximately 80% of all real estate transactions come from your sphere. So, who belongs in your sphere? You might think that you don't have a sphere, or you don't have a good enough sphere, or maybe like you're new to town and you don't know anybody. That is not true. You know people, and the best thing you could do is right now, pause the video, grab a pen and a paper, or maybe an Excel spreadsheet, or if you have a CRM, and we're just going to start writing things down. And I don't want you to think about what you're going to be saying to these people while you're writing them down. I just want you to do the exercise. Don't think too much about it. Work through it at your own pace. And this part of it is just going to be just word vomit on paper or wherever you're putting this down. Just word vomit anybody that you know. So who might you be including in this? This could be your friends, your acquaintances, your family, your spouse's friends, people in social groups that you're a part of, your dentist that you go to, your doctor, your hairstylist, just anybody that you might know. And if you Google a list of who to include in your sphere of influence, there are like I think there's a list that I saw is like 100 people to include in your sphere of influence. And there's people that you wouldn't even think of. And again, don't think about like what you would say to them. Just continue this exercise, put them all in your whatever place that you're putting them in. So now that we have the list of people completed, we're gonna organize it. And you might have already done this mentally when you started putting people in. And we're gonna organize it from at the top of the list, people that are closest to us, all the way down to like the very, very far acquaintances, maybe people that you haven't talked to in 15 years. And while we're doing that, do yourself a favor and either highlight or star, or if you have a CRM that can have tags, put a tag and just notarize them as an influencer. These are people that can, maybe they know a lot of people, maybe they're like president of a group that you're affiliated with, or they just know a lot of people, or they're a general contractor and they know a lot of homeowners. These people, call them like VIPs or something like that. These are going to be the people that are going to know a lot of other people. And if you could cultivate a relationship with them, they are going to be your power referral base. And this is very important. You want these people to be the VIPs. If you're a new agent, you might not have a CRM yet. And if you're an old agent, you might not have a CRM yet either. But I highly encourage you at this point to get a CRM. You might have these all in Excel, or you might have them in a notebook at the moment, which is fine. But at some point, these are going to have to migrate to a CRM because there's no way that you're going to remember all these people. And the trick is that we're going to systematize it in a way that you could actually engage with these people, build relationships with them, and ultimately build trust with them, which is the real goal. So how are we going to reach out to them now? We've got our list, we've organized it, we've categorized it, and now we have to actually touch them, touch our database. Now, there is no right or wrong way to do this. What I would say is reach out to them like you normally would. If you typically text this person, it'd kind of be weird to give them a call and ask them for business, right? So don't do that, just text them. And if you typically call people, give them a call. And the point is, we are not selling them on anything. We are simply engaging with them. There's no agenda to this call, just simply to re-engage with them. And you could tell them maybe like, it's something that went really well for you, or just generally see how they're doing, see if there's anything you can help them with. If they have kids, see how their kids are doing. We're just starting a conversation here to re-engage them. And if it's somebody that you haven't talked to in a long time, there's a great script you could use, the Shame on Me script. And it goes something like this, just like, hey, shame on me, I should have reached out to you a long time ago, but so much time has passed that I felt like it might be awkward, and this is just me reaching out. How are you doing? What's going on? And generally, they're going to be pretty delighted to hear from you. Think about it if you were in their shoes. If somebody that you hadn't talked to in a long time reached out to you and was like, hey, I know it's been a while. I know this is kind of weird, but I was just thinking about you and I just figured we should reconnect. How's it going? You want to grab a coffee or lunch or something like that? Chances are you'd probably be pretty thrilled too. Somebody thought of you. We're pretty vain. That's how it goes. So there's another part to this equation. We've re-engaged with them. We've categorized them. We've put them in a list. We know who our sphere of influence is now, but how are we going to market to them? Well, there's a few different ways we could do that. For one, if you have local groups in your community that you're part of, whether it's a church group or maybe a country club, go to events. Be present, show up, show your face, and talk to people. If you could go to a physical event at least once a month, well, let's say there's 50 people at that event and you're there once a month, that's a lot of times to touch them. That's a lot of times to stay top of mind. Aside from that, social media. I talk a lot about social media and the importance of it and staying omnipresent. Out of sight, out of mind is a thing. You got to be there all the time. So engaging with people on social media, being human, is super important. So maybe when you're scrolling through Instagram or TikTok or Facebook or whatever social media sites that you use and that your sphere is on, which is an important factor of this, whatever social media sites your sphere is a part of, be a little bit more intentional about how you're interacting with them. If one of your friends just posts a picture of a baby, comment on it. Maybe even message them, congratulate them, say that's amazing. Maybe even when you message them, send them a video and say like, hey, just saw that you had a baby. I think that's so great. What a cute baby, whatever. Something a little bit more human than just the robotic stuff. And when you're posting, post your face. Be a human. We're trying to build trust with somebody, and you cannot build trust with somebody if your face is not there. If they don't hear your voice, if they don't see your face, they're not going to trust you. They're not even going to know you. So when you are posting on social media, don't just be one of those realtors that just post quotes or whatever. Post your face. And the other aspect of it is your email campaign or your paid advertising maybe. If you're running Facebook ads, it's going to be like a billboard. You could run Facebook ads to all of your followers or people who have visited your website or, so many other different avenues, demographic data. And those Facebook ads could be like a billboard. Something to put your face out there so that people recognize you, start to consider you an authority in their market, an authority on real estate. And it's all part of that staying top of mind, that recurring cycle, that virtuous cycle, that when they're talking to somebody and their friend's like, oh yeah, I want to buy a house or I want to sell a house, you got to talk to Tony. He's the best. He's all over the place. He's crushing it. That's how you stay top of mind, and that's how you get referrals. One of the really cool things about sending drip emails or having an email marketing campaign, and when I say campaign, I don't necessarily mean like you're paying some outsourced manager to create an email marketing campaign for you through MailChimp. Could be that, might not be that. It could be as simple as sending a monthly newsletter about what's going on in your market, or new restaurants that are opening, or some stats, something simple, just a simple email says, hey Joe, Tony with XYZ Realty, how you doing? Just wanted to give you an updated market stats for the week of whatever week we're on. It could be something simple like that, but with a CRM, you should have the functionality to see who's opening your emails. These are people that have interest in what you're talking about. Now, I've talked about a lot of stuff, and you might be thinking, Tony, that's a lot to do. No way. I can do all of that, still run my other lead generation strategies. I'm going to be getting C's and everything and A's and nothing. Well, this is why it's important to systematize as many things as you can. And especially if you're just getting started, I would forego all the paid lead services right now, because chances are you don't have enough systems in place to follow up and service and nurture those leads. So focusing on your sphere is going to be the most impactful for new agents to try and find new business. So we need to figure out a way to systematize it, and here's how we're going to do it. Get a CRM, because there's no way that you're going to remember everybody. No way. And you shouldn't have to either. The point of automation, the point of technology is to give you leverage so that you could get in front of more people in an organized manner. And the thing about automation is that there are a lot of people who want to automate everything so that they never actually have a real conversation with another individual. And that will not fly, because no amount of automation will ever be enough to replace me talking and having a real conversation with you, because automation, at least at its current standpoint, does not have the ability to truly interact and build a meaningful relationship with somebody. We've already talked about nurturing via email, but the thing about building your sphere as opposed to leads that might opt into something is that you're starting from scratch. And you kind of have to ask for permission before you just include them on your list. Otherwise, they're probably going to hate you. So this is a great opportunity. This is an opportunity for you to say, hey, I'm starting a newsletter about, whatever the topic is, and I just thought you might really enjoy it. Is it okay if I add you to my newsletter? And some will probably say, no, I don't, no, thank you, or whatever. But, several will probably say yes, especially if they're in your sphere and you know them. But this is a great opportunity for you to follow up and say, thanks. By the way, I'm always here if you have any questions about the market or whatever. This is an opportunity for you to interject yourself as a real estate agent and remind them that this is what you do. And it can get you a lot of awareness. And when those referrals start coming in, because they're going to start coming in, this is your sphere of influence. These are the people that you have influence on. When the referrals start coming in, treat the people that are referring you like gold. Because they're not, think about it this way. They're not pre-qualifying people before they send them to you. They're having a conversation with their friend saying, oh my God, you got to talk to Tony. He's so good. Just give him a call. Here's his number. And they reach out to you and say, hey, I want to buy a house. Maybe they don't all close. Maybe most of them do not close, but you always, always, always treat the person referring you like gold. So where else are we nurturing? We're nurturing on social media. What does that mean exactly? Well, that's very simple and it's a lot easier. It's not so much done in a CRM for the most part, but it's done every single week on your own time. If you're on Instagram, for example, make reels, comment on people's pictures. Whenever you're on social media, like I said earlier, be intentional about the types of activities you're doing so that people see you. And it's important to go on Instagram and really any platform, but at the moment I spend most of my time on Instagram, so I'm going to use that as an example. You should be doing everything. Now that could be reels, actual posts, carousels, Instagram lives, videos, IGTVs, all sorts of stuff, because the more eyes you can get on your content, the better it's going to be. So that's it. Building your sphere of influence is pretty elementary, pretty much the first thing that you should do once you become a new agent. But for whatever reason, so many people just skip over it and trying to go for something else. Like I said earlier, approximately 80% of transactions happen for your sphere. So why do so many agents go for that 20% of the unknown, the stuff that they actually have to pay for anyways? Usually out of fear. Don't let the fear cloud you. Go talk to your sphere. Go through the steps that I talked about to build your sphere, how to interact with them, what to say to them, how to nurture them, and allow this to be the jet fuel to propel your business forward. And if you feel like you learned something, if you feel like this video was valuable, hit that like button, give me a subscribe. It's going to really help my channel grow so I can continue to make videos like this and help you build your business and scale to wherever you want to go. Follow me on Instagram, and thanks so much for watching. Take care.